While Resident Evil Resistance is included with Resident Evil 3, we will be covering that game separately. Resident Evil has mutated radically since Nemesis first stalked the surviving STARS members on PlayStation 1. The franchise has reinvented itself across diverse genres and sequels, spin-offs, and remakes, but has never lost sight of the shadowy organizations playing God. Now, after the overwhelming success of last year's RE2 remake, Capcom looks to keep the momentum going with another trip to Raccoon City. The story picks up on the night of September 28, 1998, following franchise lead Jill Valentine in her effort to escape the zombie outbreak of Raccoon City. Along the way, she meets members of Umbrella's security forces, most notably Carlos Oliveira. An uneasy alliance is formed, and the group must work together to survive the ensuing chaos. Given the time and location, Resident Evil 3 shares many commonalities with its predecessor, but the events from Spencer Mansion also loom ominously, as this isn't Jill's first encounter with Umbrella's sinister work. As if things weren't bad enough, Jill has been targeted by one of Umbrella's most dangerous creations. Nemesis may not be in the title anymore, but he sure as hell has the same mission: to eliminate all remaining STARS members to prevent them from exposing the company's secret experiments. The story is tremendously enjoyable thanks in no small part to the evolving chemistry between Jill and Carlos. High-stakes threats and a compelling villain bring out the best in the protagonists, pushing them to the brink as they face impossible odds. Resident Evil 3 has a much greater emphasis on action and momentum than Resident Evil 2. While Leon and Claire searched for clues to escape the claustrophobic confines of the RPD building, the infested streets of Raccoon City depict a greater sense of urgency and desperation as our heroes explosively propel from one location to the next. You rarely linger in any one place for long, and puzzles primarily stress efficient navigation through hostile environments. The shift toward action doesn't compromise the horror. Confined interiors highlight the series' roots as the Walking Dead shamble towards their dinner with primal hunger. Zombies aren't the only hazards to contend with, but they're the most plentiful, as the T-virus has produced a host of ferocious creatures. Each enemy has its own strengths and weaknesses, which can be exploited with smart weapon use or environmental objects like exploding barrels and generators, making it important to make note of your surroundings and even the most minor encounters. Nemesis plays a significant role in escalating the tension. The enhanced tyrant is seemingly invincible, with a few surprises we won't spoil. At times, he relentlessly pursues Jill, and even after taking him down, he regenerates to continue the hunt. Other times, he confronts you for boss fights, each of which offers satisfying and unique ways to combat the creature. The pacing is expertly refined, with the looming threat of his next appearance only put to rest by the soothing melody of a save room. As a highly trained member of STARS, Jill is capable of handling a wide assortment of tools and weapons. We'll spare you the lockpick pun, but naturally, cracking open doors and supply containers plays a key part in progression, along with other franchise staples like the shotgun and grenade launcher. Carlos is also playable in specific sections, and he comes equipped with his own distinct, albeit limited, arsenal. Each of them can use gunpowder to craft various ammo types, while herbs and first aid spray heal their injuries. The most useful mechanic is the dodge. When playing as Jill, precisely timing the maneuver activates a combat roll, while doing so with Carlos unleashes a haymaker that knocks enemies to the ground. Each successful dodge can be followed up with a time-slowing counterattack capable of dishing out rapid damage to an enemy's weak point. It's a tricky skill to master, especially when facing several enemies at once, so it's wise to remain calm when facing life-threatening situations. Weapon upgrades, additional resources, hidden bobbleheads, and documents can be found concealed throughout the environment. Exploring optional areas in search of supplies is usually rewarding but dangerous, creating risky scenarios, especially when under duress. Ammo isn't as rare as in some Resident Evil titles, but you still have to be mindful.
Jill! Oh, thank God. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm alive.
The RE engine looks better than ever with improved lighting and sharper textures. Wall surfaces and pools of blood are less reflective, making them look more convincing. However, these improvements come at a small cost, with a little less gore depicted than in Resident Evil 2. It's still delightfully bloody and graphic, but dismemberment has been toned down, resulting in slightly less spectacular kills. When shooting off limbs, they explode and disappear into a burst of blood, rather than lingering unnervingly on the ground. The main detriment to Resident Evil 3 is the short length. A first playthrough lasts about 5 to 6 hours, made worse by slight omissions from the original game. Thankfully, an addicting suite of unlockable rewards and difficulties make subsequent runs worthwhile. Challenges like eliminating zombies with specific weapons or finishing the game with an S rank unlocks various goodies, such as points that can be spent on special weapons and items not found in the main game. Factor in speedrun attempts, and it's easy to find something to work towards. Resident Evil 3 is a superb reimagining that complements last year's Resident Evil 2 by prioritizing frantic action without compromising its horror roots. Jill and Carlos's emotional journey is bolstered by threats that build their bond in convincing ways, while Nemesis remains one of the series' most memorable creations. More than a few surprises await veteran residents of Raccoon City. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.